Today we're going to be talking about 6 ways you can get new Twitter followers and grow your audience. So even if you're new to Twitter or you're a veteran, you might learn something new about how to get new followers into your social circle. First, we're going to look at how to make your profile stand out, how to be consistent intelligently. Then we're going to look at how to analyze and optimize your performance, ways you can interact with your current audience to boost engagement. Then we're going to learn how Twitter's algorithm works. And finally, we're going to see how we could leverage our other audiences from outside of Twitter. First, let's create an inviting profile. We want to make sure that our profile picture is high res and it stands out, because first impressions mean everything. If you're a business or organization, you probably want to use a picture of someone. People like to interact with humans on Twitter and not so much companies. A logo does work when it's clear and simple, but people like speaking to humans on social media, so a personable profile photo is going to go a long way. The next thing someone sees is your header photo, so you want to make it stand out. If you don't have graphic design skills, put a nice photo that'll calm people down, because it's usually hectic on social media. If you want to do something more, then you can add something like a quote that speaks about you or your company. You could also introduce yourself and say who you work for and what your position is with your company logo in the background. Not only that, but you can add company information like a recent campaign, because it's free advertising after all. If you want more information or to see some examples that we've discussed, click the link in the description where I wrote a blog in more detail. The last point on a perfect profile is you want to make sure you have a good follower versus following ratio. It would be best if you follow less people than how many people follow you, because it'll show everyone that you have valuable information to share. Next, let's discuss consistency. The sweet spot is posting 2 to 6 times a day on Twitter. If you only post once a day, not everybody's going to see your tweets, and if you post more than 6 times, you'll be bombarding people with too much information. Not only that, but you'll have to do so much more research on what you share, because you want to always be providing good value to everyone. You can go even further by testing out what type of content your audience likes to see. Maybe you'll post a poll on Wednesday, a question on Friday, and some GIFs between. So ask the question, who is your audience, and what do they do differently? If you were them, what would be the best information you'd want to see from you? It's crucial that you remember that people are usually on Twitter for around 3 minutes a day, so when you post, you want to make sure that you reach the most of your audience at their peak activity times. If you don't have the time to decipher analytics, using social media monitoring tools are going to be the best way that you get the most out of your effort. Not only will you learn more about your audience, what they're into, and what they're discussing in the moment, but you'll get actionable intelligence to help you decide on how to strategize next. If you want free insights right now to map your followers and give you relevant information that's specific to your audience. After all, everyone's following is different, so you gotta test out and see what works. So let's talk about how we can analyze our performance. Because social media algorithms are always changing, one way you can stay ahead on Twitter is by using suggested hashtags that will help you get more impressions. And you can do that right now with the link in the description. Now here's a great method to analyzing your performance. It's called the A/B strategy. Essentially how this works is you have subset A with a certain type of content, and then you'll have subset B where you'll tweak that content just a bit, and then you'll be able to weigh which one works better. Now the next method to analyzing your Twitter performance is optimizing your posting times. Because your audience is only active for around 3 minutes, we want to make this count. This means optimizing when you post your tweets is the difference between a great and a mediocre outreach. I give you more detail on this seen in the blog in the description below. Next, let's learn how we can interact better with our current audience. After all, they call it social media for a reason. Start looking through your following and identify influencers and leaders in your niche that you can collaborate with. Even if you're too busy for collaboration, you can interact with these leaders because they'll have an audience that shares the same interests as yours. Also, when your Twitter presence is personable and conversational, you'll increase engagement and grow naturally. If you want to see some more easy ways you can interact with your audience, hit the blog link in the description. Next, let's understand the Twitter algorithm. It's pretty simple. Twitter wants to show you accounts and tweets that have a lot of followers, retweets, profile clicks, likes, and impressions. So if you manage to hit all those boxes, you will be shown to the most people. Another thing to know is that keywords are analyzed by third-party platforms. This means that not only hashtags show people what you're talking about, but also the specific keywords you use. But in the end, it's best to know how to use hashtags properly and make sure that they're relevant to your audience. But this doesn't mean use 1,000 hashtags. Twitter recommends that if you use more than 3 hashtags, you'll have a 17% decline in engagement. So 2 is the sweet spot. Even though Twitter is a text-based platform, videos are retweeted 6 times more than photos, so you want to make sure that everything is visual. Another aspect of providing rich content is sticking to the 20-80 rule. It's recommended that you post valuable content to your audience 80% of the time and only stick to self-promotion 20% of the time. This standard will ensure that your audience always knows that you provide great value and you're worth following. Our final method to making sure that we gain new Twitter followers is by drawing in your audience from other platforms. Now this could be anything. It could be your YouTube channel or maybe an Instagram account. But also don't neglect your email list. An easy way to converge these audiences is by putting your Twitter handle in your emails. If you want to draw in your other audiences to Twitter, you can do stuff like this. Make a YouTube video or make a post on Instagram and then invite people to go to your desired platform. For example, throughout the video, I've been showing you that I have more information to give in my blog post that you can click in the description below. This will make sure that your audience goes to your website or your other platforms to see all that you have to share. Thanks for watching, and that's all from me. I hope you learned something, and if you did, let me know in the comments below.